Welcome to Tropes and Traumas, where books hurt us.
But we love it anyways. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the first book in our book club, ACOTAR.
ACOTAR, A
Whoop,
Court
whoop.
of Thorns and Roses, for those who don't
Yes.
know this lane.
So, with that being said, keep in mind, you guys, moving forward, spoilers. So, if you haven't
Spoiler
read it,
alert.
yes, if you haven't read the book yet, what we'd like for you to do is to pause this now, go read up to chapter 23. You're going to stop at chapter 23 just to clarify. And then come back and we're going to talk all the way through chapter 22, which is the first half of the book. So let's get started. Um, to start, I'm going to start off just giving a little bit of a recap of what happened so far. So how the book started was there was a young girl in the forest, and she was hunting for her family's dinner, and she went ahead and she shot a wolf with an arrow and killed it, and she killed it angrily. After killing the wolf, she went and she sold its hide, and she was getting money for her family, and you see a lot of those dynamics. And then she gets taken from her home. So while being taken from her home, she's taken by this big fairy guy who says that she now has to live with him. So she goes to live with him, and they're fighting. There's this, there's that. She catches the cereal. She also goes ahead and she sees them help a fairy whose wings have just been ripped off by this mysterious person who we don't know who it is yet.
The
Um,
mysterious her, she. Who is
yeah,
this woman we need to know?
absolutely. They go to Calamine, and that's like a whole thing. We'll get into that. And then she meets this mysterious person who's like, I've been looking for you. We'll get there.
Looking for
Um,
me? Who, me?
yes. And then after that, we kind of get to a point where her and Tam Tam are like getting along. They're very happy. And at the end of where we are, they had just had a little tiff because he bit her neck. And now she is like, "Ah, but we're friends now." And he gave her roses to apologize. And now they're very happy go lucky and like this happy loving part. So,
Just to clarify, Tam Tam is Tamlin, aka
yes.
Tampon, aka the guy who stole her from her home, and now she is letting him bite her neck. That's where we're at right now.
Steamy. Okay, so one of the first things I want to talk about is the very beginning part where we meet her family.
Oh boy.
Tell me your thoughts. Let's start with you.
So it's crazy because I took some notes because the first time I read this, by the way, this is our second time around reading the series. Um, I am trying to have different thoughts about the characters, trying to see it from a fresh perspective, and yet her sister Nesta is still. Are we cussing? She's a
Let's
bitch.
first and I'll bleep it out.
Nesta is. Let's just. There we are. Point blank, period. I don't understand why her sisters treat her the way that they do. It's not cool. It gives, and she's the youngest sister, so it doesn't make sense to me. It's giving older sister vibes,
Yeah.
um, which is wild to me. Um, and the dad, I don't know. I have my own personal daddy issues, and so I feel like I'm not as mad at the dad as I should be because he at least still shows some sort of feelings towards her being taken away at the beginning, as opposed to how her sisters are reacting to the whole situation.
It's interesting.
So that's how I feel about that.
I agree. Nesta is a bitch. And not only is she a bitch, but she needs a rude awakening. Because I'm sorry, but that whole little love story with her and some boy, and how they are now like, she wants to like fall in love with this boy, and Farrah's like, we're poor. The only thing he wants is in between your legs. And it's like, she's the youngest. She should not have to be telling you this. Like, I'm sorry.
Right.
Wake up. And also, like, can we talk about the fact that none of them, after like, it's been like 6 years since they went poor, no one's got together and been like, we need to get our shit together. We need to start making money. Like, Elaine is the flower girl. Why isn't she freaking like putting in vegetables? Why isn't she growing that? Why isn't Nesta fucking helping her skin the animals so she can keep catching more so they can have more dinner? Because had she had
Girl.
help, she could have not only got the wolf and she could have not only got the deer, she could have brought the whole wolf back had she got help. And they would have had meals for weeks. For weeks. But no. And Miss Elaine, oh, Miss Elaine. I'm sorry. She's sweet Elaine. Where was she sweet in there? Like that whole first few chapters, she was a she was a where was she sweet? Because she was defenseless, helpless.
Feyre tries
I
to make so many excuses for her. Like, she literally says that none of it is Elaine's fault, that she is the way that she is. She just doesn't know any better. But she's not a child. None of
You're the
them are
youngest.
children. And Feyre is acting like a whole adult. She's taking on
Mm-hmm.
the role of the father, like the provider
The father, the mother, the
of the
everything.
household. And I'm just like, why is it that all of this is falling on her shoulders? I know she talks a lot about how the mom coddled the other two, but with them wanting to have money so badly, you would think they would have gone out of their way, like you said, to get that money back, especially since their father is the reason everything went to hell in the first place.
And their father is Mr. Merchant. Mr. Merchant, get off your ass.
I
Get
wouldn't
off
trust him
it.
with anything anymore at this point, though.
That's fair.
He's, no, he's the reason, no.
That's fair.
Like, maybe give me your previous contact list
Right.
and I'll deal with them. You can stay your butt home and sulk about your dead wife as long as you need to. But like, we're gonna go handle business
Thank you.
because
Because had they all been putting something in, they could have made a killing. They could have at least had a better house. They could have made money. It's possible. It would have been hard. It would have been hard. But that whole thing, I was honestly glad she got out of there. I was like, thank goodness, because now these people are gonna see. But I do have to say, I very much relate to the feeling of if I don't do it, it won't get done.
I
And I feel
am.
like that's kind of all the whole like that's what their her whole life was. Is like if no one else is gonna do it. I need to get up and hunt. I need to get up and skin the animals. I need to yell at my sister to go get some logs because we need firewood.
So that brings me a little bit further into what we're reading. The fact that Tamlin took it upon himself to make sure that the family was taken care of, even though they took Farah away. I'm kind of upset about that. He should have let them suffer for just a little bit and realize what it is that Feyre was truly doing for them this whole time because it does not give appreciation
Yeah.
at all. Zero appreciation. The whole time they're just mooching off of her and like if you don't make us money, like the making demands of the woman, like
hmm
and
And you know
only
what?
chopping the wood because she actually was able to get y'all some coin. You should have been chopping wood regardless. What do you mean?
Listen, that also brings me to my next point. When she realized that he is taking care of her family,
Hmm.
the conflict that she had within her and the way that Sarah J. Maas like explained it, being the oldest child and like dealing with that with my own family where it's like I feel bad for like moving on, but then it's like, oh, but they're okay. Like everything's gonna be okay. What do I do now? What do I do now?
That
Like
feeling sits with you.
I lived, my whole life for them, and now what do I do? And like seeing her go through that and being like, oh shit, I guess I should start painting. Like, what do I do with myself? And I feel like
Okay.
that kind of brings her to like, I mean, she's a teenager in this, but it kind of brings her to like the early 20s almost, where it's like, if I'm not taking care of other people and I have to take care of myself, who am I? And I
Right.
guess that's kind of where we're at, right? She's just figuring out who she is and what she's doing. And I I like the way that Sarah J. Maas represents that.
I feel like there is some decent character building with Feyre, minus the part where she's falling for Tamlin. I'm sorry, even though this is the second time I'm reading this, and everyone keeps talking about how everyone fell in love with Tamlin at first. I don't see it.
I think they were falling in love with the fact that he was caring for her family and doing these big gestures. However, looking back at it, they were for her, but they also kind of weren't. And I don't know how else to explain it, but like it kind of feels like I don't know. It just doesn't sit right. Also, I think it's so interesting that her handmaiden, the one who's like helping her get dressed and everything, um,
Alice.
yes, Miss Alice, how she's like the way to get to Tam Tam is through Lucian. But Lucian throughout all these chapters is a complete butthole. Like he is like not the part of the butthole, not a little bit. He's the whole butthole. He's such a jerk to her.
I have my own opinions about that as well because no, I didn't fall for Tamlin, but I fell for Lucian, okay?
I
He
get that.
is the sweetest of the assholes. I feel like even though he is being a butthead, he still knows how to deal with a woman and conversate. Like there's actual conversation happening. He's not tiptoeing around
Mhm.
anything or anything like that. Like Tamlin seems like he's never been around regardless of her being human and not Fae, he's act like he's never been around a woman before for a good long while and then bites her. How do we get from that to there? I'm sorry that that jump just doesn't make sense to me and it won't ever make sense to me because how did we get there?
I get
At
that.
least like with Lucian, if he decided to just like if they just started making out, it would make sense. There was tension,
I agree with that. There was a lot of
you
tension, but
know?
the way that he would talk to her and the way that he would act, and then they're like, and I don't get me wrong, like I like the side he brought out of her where she was able to be snarky and sarcastic and like it did bring out a good side to her and it brought her back down to like reality, which is good instead of like, this like crazy extreme of having to take care of her family and then like the crazy extreme of where Tam Tam is like trying to take care of her, whereas like with Lucian he kind of gives her that independence and I think that's great. But then he goes with the whole cereal thing, he goes, here's how you catch it, and if you need my help I'm going to help you, and then he doesn't help her, and then he has the audacity to tell her, hey, by the way, I'm sorry I didn't save you, I actually hesitated and probably wasn't gonna save you, but I'm glad Tam Tam did. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. And I'm like, what do you mean, oh my God, thank you?
She's you have to remember she killed their friend.
I understand
She's
that.
a fairy murderer still. He's still trying to get over that. He has an issue. You have to remember he's trauma. He has trauma. He had his whole lover murdered before his very eyes, and now he's losing a friend to some human. What? First of all, they're not supposed to die by the hands of humans, period. let alone this little girl who comes out of nowhere and now his bestie is taking care of her.
Yeah.
How, no. Like I completely understand where Lucian's coming from. The little flip flop, you're right, it was a little flip floppy that she would still, forgive him in the way that she did, like so quickly. I feel
Yeah.
like there still should have been a little like, but how could you do that to me?
Yeah.
The fact that that was missing, I get it. But I feel like she's also in her head, like, well, he also still is trying to like me right now and forgive me for what I did.
Yeah.
So the
I guess
fact that he
that's
at
the
least
point.
admitted that he was glad she didn't die, I think was what kept her from being like, oh man, well, forget you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
I guess.
It's all complicated,
Oh,
honestly.
and then Calamine,
Callan my, oh my God.
So you're telling me that you just fucked another girl and you saw me in the hall and then you bit me?
Yeah. Well, did he actually mess with the other women?
He said she didn't want me to take it so easy on her. That was like that's how they make the magic. They make the magic
Right,
by
right.
so he did.
But he was also like that the whole time he could smell her. So I
And he
think,
was looking for her, but then he couldn't, so he had to choose another woman.
right. But he was still smelling her the whole time. Like, so in his mind, he's still thinking about this whole other woman, aka Feyre, while he's messing with somebody else. And then finally gets to go home and is like, there's that smell again. Rawr. And
I
just
get it, but
chomps.
also crazy.
Like, but you're right. Like, how could you? You're gross.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I was like, he just like fucked a whole other girl and just like he was like, I actually just wanted you the whole time, and had you been there, I wouldn't have been able to stop. And I'm like, that's assault.
I mean,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
yeah, unless it's
Don't get me
like
wrong. It was hot.
consensual assault, like that
Uh,
is that not a thing?
I don't. We're not gonna go there.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
it was just like, what do you mean, bro? But at the same time, the way that she wrote the scene, yes, it was steamy. Him being in like the room in the hallway, being like, I want to just eat you up, and like literally biting her. Yeah, it was definitely steamy. By the way, I guess we kind of have to talk about this, the difference between the dramatized and then the non-dramatized.
Oh,
I don't know if
what's
you
the
guys listen.
difference?
I don't know if you guys listen to like the audiobooks. Um, but how I read it is I do listen to the audiobooks and I listen to the dramatized version. So that's where we're hearing like the little sounds that they make. So instead of it's like she gasped, it's like a like, and you get to kind of hear different voices, and I really like that. I felt like very immersive for me. It also helped me visualize it. Did I need it? No, but I liked it. But then you had a different experience.
I can't handle all those background noises. It's mostly like that weird music that goes on in the background that just is very distracting for me. Um, I'd rather have my imagination do all that for me than have it given to me unless it's actually something visual. Like if I'm watching a movie or something, cool. I need all of that. But if I'm reading or listening to the audiobook, I think my imagination handles it very well for me. And there's just too much noise in the dramatized version for me. I can't do it. And the fact that you're telling me you can hear the type of gas, I'm like, I'm sure it's not the gasp I heard. Like,
That's like the difference between watching a movie and reading the book.
right.
Yeah.
Precisely.
But yeah.
Precisely.
But I do love the dramatized one. So if you guys like that, but if you don't, then you have the non-dramatized one. So just options. But I
Same
just thought that was
difference.
interesting that we had such different opinions.
For sure.
Yeah. So any other takeaways that you want to discuss about the book?
Let's see, let's see. I don't think so. I feel like I would like to talk about who our favorite characters are so far, though. Like,
Okay.
who sticks out to you the most? Who do you want to follow more throughout the next bits of the book and the rest of the series, for that matter?
I definitely want to follow Feyre. Sorry, she is my favorite. I know, cliche, it's the main character. She is though. Um, I love how strong she is, even though she's like considered a weak human. Um, I do like the strength that I see within her already building. And I do like the development so far of her character, so I would love to see that more. Um, I guess my second favorite would have to be it is Lucian. Yes, I gave Lucian hate, but I do want to see his character development.
Yeah,
I actually really like him more than Tamlin.
I love Lucian. I definitely am rooting for him right now. I'm hoping Feyre either comes to her senses and realizes Lucian was the one that she needed to be with all along, or this guy that she met during Canon who told her that he was looking for her. Who was he? Saved her life and all that, all valiant and whatnot. I
I
thought
thought he
that
was
was
gonna.
cute. And she clearly thinks he's fine because she said it to herself that he's the most beautiful man she's ever seen. I'm not going to forget that. I need to know who he is. Give me more, please and thank you.
I honestly thought he was gonna kill her.
Which is
That's right.
also
A possibility.
attractive. You said possibility, I said attractive. I don't know. I'm into the dangerous. As far as books go, in real life, not so much. But when it comes to my books, I like it when things get dangerous, and it's just, I don't know, it's exciting to know that he has the potential to just tear you apart and decides to do that, but in a different way.
Well, I mean, these books are spicy for a reason.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll get there.
absolutely.
Um, oh, something that I want to talk about is that when they first meet her, they're like, "Didn't your mother tell you about us?"
Hmm. Are we going to go into that? Because there are some theories floating around the internet.
I don't know. I guess I didn't catch it like the first time I read it, but I heard it this
Right.
time. And like
Mhm.
that she had like the iron bed and like that was the only thing that they owned of their mother. And I was like, does she know something we don't?
Right.
Like what is mom trying to say? Like I don't understand that portion. Um, so I definitely thought that was very interesting.
Also, the fact that he
Mm.
kind of just randomly, like Tamlin randomly brought up, didn't your mother talk to you about us?
Yeah, as though like
Really?
they know, like they know. And then like she just kind of glazed past it. She's
Yeah,
like, I
she's
don't
just
know her.
like,
Well, do you? Like,
right. He tries to cover it up, saying, I didn't sense anything of an older woman in the house. But I'm like, and that's relevant how, sir? Why are you
yeah.
talking about my mama? What you
Yeah, I
know
thought
about
that
my
was
mama
weird.
that I don't know? What was she supposed to be telling me?
Yeah, I definitely thought that was weird. And you know what? I guess this is another thing about Feyre. I feel like she don't ask enough questions. Like
She does
she's like
not.
lolly lolly la. Like, girl, why aren't you asking questions? Like why are like she doesn't even ask why the masks are on. She's like, Tamlin, can you just take it off? No, he can't. Did you not hear him the first time? How do we take it off? Like she doesn't ask the right questions, I feel like.
Like, she's fierce and also very timid's not the word, but
Young.
like, she's just not all there all at the same time. But she's still so young, and all she
Mhm.
knew was providing for the family. That's all that was on her mind. That's all she could focus on. she didn't really get to grow in other places besides that.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I still try to give her some grace in those areas just because of that. But also you're in this life-threatening type of situation because still you grew up fearing the fairies. Why are we not making sure to get down to the
Yeah.
bottom of things, get all the facts? Because you apparently she starts off thinking that the fairies can't lie. Okay, ask questions, get those
That's what I'm saying.
answers.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we find out a little bit later that's not even true. But in
Nope.
the beginning, you would want to know. I would want to know everything I could possibly know. And obviously, she did
Right.
try to find stuff out because that's why she sought out the cereal in the first place.
Yeah.
She wanted her answers. But I'm like, ask the people you're at dinner with, your captors.
They
Like,
might answer some questions,
they
maybe
might
not
say
all, but some.
something, and or be more clever about it. Get them to spill the beans.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
But I do have to say, the way this book was written, it's very intriguing. I'm always wanting to know what's going on next. Like the same
Right.
with the wolf. I was like, okay, she killed a wolf. Like, what happened next? And I definitely appreciate that about this writing. In fact, this was one of the books that got me back into reading in the first place. So I just love how it's written, and I love like the even though it's not perfect and the characters are far from perfect, that's what makes them so relatable and so like understandable as well.
Right.
So I like it. I
It's
love it.
funny
And
because you said that it got you into reading, but you're the one that suggested me to read it, and it's what got me more focused into reading. I started off this year reading the Alice Hoffman series for Practical Magic, just because that
that's
movie's coming out soon,
Mhm.
the second one. And so I was reading those. I didn't finish what I think the third book of the series. And then you introduced me to the series of ACOTAR and didn't tell me it was an unfinished series,
I didn't
but I
know.
started it anyways and fell in love with it. I feel like it's not her best work, but that's probably what it was that drew me in because it was a little simpler to read
Hmm.
in that way, but also had a little extra, let's just, some slight spice in the beginnings of the books, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
So it's cool. So we need to know, y'all, if you had to vote Lucian or Tamlin, who are we picking and why? I need to know your whys, please. I have to know I'm not the only one in my thoughts. Um, And I'm sure Kayla would also like to know because she's into Tamlin. She's into Tamlin. Don't
I am.
like
I
so
take Tamlin over Lucian at this moment in time.
so we'd like to know not necessarily who you side with between me and her, but who you side with between Tamlin and Lucian. So
Yes.
definitely drop that in our comments, please.
And let us know
And
your theories. Any kind of theories that you guys have on what you think might happen next or anything. We definitely want to see those in the comments and we want to interact and tell you guys what we think, or you guys may tell us something completely that we've never thought of, and I would love to hear it.
right, absolutely.
We're going to be going off in the next episode, continuing to talk about the end of the book. So this was just the first half. So just go ahead and guys, you want to read from chapter 23 all the way to the end, and we'll be talking about it next week. So
Yes.
join us then. And don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us to keep watching our videos. And we hope to hear from you guys because remember, this is a community. So we want to hear from you guys just as much as you hear from us.
Yes, and we'll support y'all just like y'all support us. So follow us and we can follow back and show each other love.
Yes, show love.
All the love.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.